this video, we are going to be looking at Canada's 2025 immigration plan and the game-changing updates it brings. In the past couple of months, you might have seen and heard in the news these seemingly ever-changing immigration policy changes that have been coming along. Let's break them down together. If you're new here, hi, I'm Shreya and welcome back to the channel. This is the channel where I talk about all things real estate, mortgage, investment, immigration and other relevant topics that impact newcomers and immigrants like you and me to Canada. Seriously though, if you're thinking about moving to Canada, if you're already here and hustling for your PR, or you're just wondering what's up with Canada and its immigration nowadays, this video is for you. So here's the deal. Canada's 2025 immigration numbers are not looking too bright. To be honest, it's about a 21% reduction on its immigration targets from the prior year. So for 2025, the numbers from the government are looking like 395,000 new immigrants admitted into Canada for this year. For next year, 2026, it's going to be even lower and it's going to be 380,000 new PR or immigrants coming in. And the following year, 2027, they are going to be even lesser at 365k new immigrants. So you might be wondering, why has the government made this decision? Well, reading and paraphrasing from the government's website, they say that they want to move away from post-pandemic measures where the Canadian government was laser focused on trying to improve economic immigration, because economic immigration directly impacts the economy here, and new immigrants bring more wealth into the country and more opportunities. But since we are a few years after the pandemic, the government wants to shift back the focus to making sure Canada has a whole society approach. So what this means is they want to have a well-integrated society where the immigration levels are in line with the community capacity. So for every new immigrant coming in, they may want to make sure that this new immigrant is well integrated into society by being able to have a house to live in or rent in, by being able to have a job in their desired field, and also for their society to be able to enjoy everything the community offers them, like access to recreational facilities, schools, hospitals, etc. So on a personal level, I agree with this approach and want to make sure that every new immigrant will have access to the same facilities I had when I initially got here. But on a personal level, I'm a bit disappointed, but more on that later. In addition to this, the Canadian immigration system right now also made a policy update regarding non-permanent residents or temporary residents. For the temporary residents, their target is that temporary residents will only make up 5% of the total population of Canada by the end of 2026. This is quite shocking to hear for many of us who came here as on study permits or on work permits. The Canadian government expects about 2.8 million temporary residents to leave Canada in the following 3 years voluntarily. This is honestly quite shocking. But anyhow, let's get into the juicy details. First one being lower immigration targets. So why honestly is the Canadian government doing this? Because they want to make sure they focus on quality over quantity. They want to make sure they are prioritizing the people already living and working in Canada. The second one, which is honestly game changing, is there won't be any more extra points in the CRS system when you apply for your permanent residency for having a job offer or an LMIA. An LMIA is a labor market assessment, which essentially means your employer is vouching for you to be in Canada and to work for them. So it's a closed work permit. And up until now, if you had this LMIA or work permit sponsored by your employer, you would get another additional 50 points or so. But starting spring of this year, this is not going to be the case anymore. So if you were banking on getting those extra LMIA points, now is the time to reconsider and explore other opportunities on getting to the PR. The third one is reduced flag polling. So flag polling is a new term that I didn't know about until I got here. So what flag polling means is if you have your study permit or your work permit and you want to change the status, or maybe you want to get an extension, instead of applying online and waiting for like months and months to get it done, what some people would do is they would go to the border, the US-Canada border, so you temporarily leave Canada and get your permit extended, you get your permit approved, etc. quickly on the spot by the CBSA officers there, immigration officers there, and you return back into Canada. Now on, there won't be any more flag polling. Because why? Obviously, people were taking advantage of the system, and because it's supposed to be quick turnaround, a lot of fraud was happening. So it's kind of good that the government has taken notice of this and trying to stop this. So flag polling is going to be phased out of the system, immigration system, and everyone is going to have to depend on applying online and waiting in line. So basically, get in line and get it like everyone else. The fourth thing, you speak French, oh my god, you are in luck. You get way more points in your CRS score. And also the Canadian government is focused on bringing more French speakers into the country. So wants 8.5% of all the new permanent residents coming in 2025 to be French speaking or Francophone. And the other big change is they're launching some new pilot programs to see how it goes in terms of immigration. This is exciting, and one of them that I saw was, so new caregiving programs are being launched that grant PR on arrival. A rural community immigration pilot is also being designed. Over here, mostly Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and now slowly Calgary. These are the kind of big cities here. These are the absolute go-tos for new immigrants. But what this has led to overcrowding. But by trying to spread out the population and trying to drive new immigrants into the smaller towns, the government aims to be able to have that whole of society approach. If you were disappointed with any of these immigration updates, maybe it's time to consider these new pilot programs which are coming up from the government. So these are just the highlights, and let me know in the comments which of these updates you are most excited about or you are concerned about, and rightfully so. Put all this aside, let's be real for a second. I've got friends who are working here in Canada for the past 6 years, and maybe I give you a personal anecdote and why some of these updates are a little bit worrying for me. Because as I say, I have friends here. I went to college here for 2 years, so I went to a designated learning institute. I went to a public college here for 2 years. I did an in-demand program which was supply chain. And then I graduated and I started working. And my story is not unique by any circumstances here, because most of my friends now, my really, really close friends, we have all gone through the same thing and we have done almost everything by the book. So one point to note is a lot of the international students who come to Canada do come to Canada because there is an opportunity to be a permanent resident here, and also because we are coming from developing countries like India, and the prospect of living in Canada, working in Canada, and growing roots in Canada is quite appealing because of various reasons, especially the lifestyle here. So having friends who have gone through everything with me, who are in the same boat as me, and who have done everything by the book, like maxing out their IELTS score is still nowhere close to the 540 points or so that are getting picked right now. It's very worrisome, and it honestly makes them feel that they are on the fence, and it's discouraging. So personally, what I'm hoping for is the Canadian government recognizes that there are so many of such temporary residents already here, already integrated into society, that are just looking to get that permanent residency to make it official. If you feel like these are all shifting targets and fewer temporary resident options are there, and it's easy to feel stuck in the situation, but here are some practical tips for you to implement to boost your CRS score, to help you navigate your permanent residency process here. So double down on your express entry prep. Take the IELTS exam, take the self-pip exam, maybe multiple times if required, and always prepare really hard for it. Try to get your profile in top shape. Explore areas where you can max out your scores. Explore PNP and also all the immigration pilot programs that are being launched, and stay up to date on the news related to these. Leverage networking. Don't take it lightly. Use your LinkedIn profile to network with professionals in the area. Building a community might make you more open to receiving your next good job opportunity. And more importantly, you can also explore some hidden pathways to PR just through networking, which you might not have known of before. Always trust reliable sources like a registered immigration consultant, the IRCC website. Preparation is your superpower in this situation, and though it feels like it's moving targets, you got this. That's a wrap on the 2025 Canada immigration plan and what were the key changes. It's very clear right now that things are getting competitive, but there's also at the same time so much opportunity, untapped opportunity. Every challenge is like an opportunity for you to level up. If this video helped you, give me a thumbs up and share the video with your friends and family, or someone who's in the same situation. Do subscribe to the channel. I'll be sharing more important and relevant topics on the channel every week. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Follow Overhaul with Rhea, and stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.